Welcome to SAGU SportsFEED, your news source for Lions athletics, Sooner Athletic Conference sports, and NAIA headlines. I'm Tim Roberts.
And I'm Matt Williams.
In a gridiron battle between two Lions on homecoming weekend, it was the Lyon College Scots that sent SAGU Lions fans home with a whimper instead of a roar. SAGU lost 38-22 and fell to 0-5 on the season. The Lions and Scots traded touchdowns and turnovers in the first half and went to the locker room tied at 14 apiece. Lyon College took control early in the second half, starting 5 drives on SAGU's end of the field. 4 of those possessions ended in touchdowns. The Scots were able to put up 24 points on the board in 16 minutes. Although the Lions outgained the Scots 384-381 in total offensive yards, Lyon College converted 6 turnovers into 28 points. SAGU's top performers were Justin Allen with 7 rushes for 72 yards, Gary Powell, who completed 16 passes for 162 yards and 1 touchdown, and Reggie Agee received 6 passes for 83 yards and a touchdown.
This week in volleyball, the Lady Lions took on Langston University Friday at 4 p.m. SAGU dominated 3 straight sets with only 9 errors compared to Langston's 20. The official scores were 25-9, 25-10, and 25-14. In the second match of the night, SAGU overwhelmed the Lady Lions by winning another sweep. The scores for the sets being 25-16, 25-9, and 25-13. The Lady Lions volleyball team swept their third match of homecoming weekend against Central Christian College with the scores of 25-8, 25-15, and 25-10. The game marked Coach Hank Moore's 400th win. In his 19 years of coaching, he has been averaging 21 wins per year. Many great athletes have come out of Moore's successful volleyball program, one of his most notable being senior Sophia Ivy, who just broke the SAGU all-time career assist record with 4,283 assists.
The Lady Lions started out the day in a bit of a lopsided game as MACU took a decisive 4-zip victory. MACU scored 3 of their goals on crossing passes from the right side of the field to the middle. SAGU failed to score on their 2 shot attempts on goal in the second half. Though MACU scored 4 goals, SAGU's Taylor Jackson had 8 saves on the day. In the men's game, the Lions were able to hold MACU, the NAIA's 5th-ranked offensive team, scoreless until the 88th minute when Rodrigo Albuquerque scored off of a header. The SAGU Lions kept MACU's 4 goals under their average of 5 a game. Midfielder Landon Beach had SAGU's best opportunity to score, but his shot went over the crossbar, leaving SAGU with a loss. Coming up, we'll look at the SAC rankings for volleyball and football. We'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome back. This week's Sooner Athletic Football Players of the Week go to wide receiver Brandon Rolfe, a sophomore from Texas Wesleyan, scoring a 16-yard touchdown reception for his longest catch of the year. Rolfe had 6 grabs for 192 yards, ranking him 6th in the league for receiving yards. Christian Wu, a defensive back for Ottawa University, snagged a single-game record with 3 interceptions and a touchdown in Saturday's victory over Texas College. Wu leads the NAIA in interceptions per game and ranks 3rd in total interceptions. Special Teams Player of the Week goes to Jonah Alcia from Ottawa University, who scored an 88-yard kickoff return for the first time in his career. Moving on to volleyball, Chastity Brown of Texas Wesleyan claims their first attacker of the week in volleyball after a career high of 14 kills in their sweep over Langston. Brown is 3rd in hitting percentage, helping the Lady Rams move to 15-6 for the 2019 season. Claiming her 4th Defender of the Week title, Isabel Harwell from Oklahoma City averaged 5 digs per set in the Stars' 5-0 week. Harwell notched her 6th of 7th 20-dig performances against John Brown and Cardinal Stritch, improving Oklahoma City to 21-1 on the season. Setter of the Week goes to Sophia Salick of Oklahoma City for the 5th time this season, averaging around 12 assists per set over the week. Adding her to double-digit dig performances, Salick hit the 40-assist mark 4 times, playing a key role to the Stars' overall 21-1 record.
This week in women's soccer, the Sooner Athletic Conference announced Taylor Moore of Wayland Baptist as the Sooner Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Week after her 3-goal performance in a pair of Wayland Baptist victories. The Defensive Player of the Week is Brooklyn Fink after a stellar defensive play allowed Mid-America Christian University to a 2-0 week where they outscored their opponents 15-0. Her, along with the rest of the Evangel, only allowed 2 shot attempts against Our Lady Lions, which propelled them to a 4-zip victory. Now for the men's soccer players of the week. The offensive player of the week is James Westfield of Wayland Baptist. He was able to score 3 goals this past week, 2 against SAGU and 1 against Central Christian. The defensive player of the week is Gerald Espinalt of Southwest Christian. Gerard saved 14 out of 15 shots on goal this past week, leading the Eagles to a 2-0 week, including a career-best 9 saves against OPSU. Taking a look at those Sooner Athletic Conference volleyball standings, Oklahoma City leads the way at 11-0, while John Brown is 10-2, Texas Wesleyan is 10-2, and SAGU is number 4 at 9-3 overall. Look at the rest of your top 11 right there. Top 10 Sooner Athletic Conference men's soccer. Mid-America Christian is 4-0 in conference. Southwestern Christian is 4-1. John Brown undefeated, number 3 at 3-0, and Wayland Baptist at 3-1. Sooner Athletic Conference women's soccer. Texas Wesleyan is 4-1. Wayland Baptist is 3-0-1 with that 1 tie. John Brown is 3-0, and USAO is 3-1 with your Lions sitting there at 0-4 at number 9. Meanwhile, over in football, Ottawa, Arizona is 4-0 leading the way. Langston is 3-0 right behind them. Lyon College, who just scored a win over at SAGU at 3-1, and Arizona Christian at 2-1, rounding out that crucial top 4. Speaking of football, let's head over to Talk Chalk with Matt.
Welcome to Chalk Talk. I'm your host, Matt Williams. We're going to talk some pigskin today. We're going to cover this past weekend's homecoming game against our very own SAGU Lions versus the Scotsmen of Lyon College out of Arkansas. And so the first clip we're going to break down is offense. They sell tickets, and let's see how many tickets they sold. I'm going to give you the wide view for the first. You see Justin Allen taking the direct snap and Wildcat, slashing the defense like hot butter. And that's a good 15-yard scamper. But let's get down to the nuts and bolts of why this play came to be. And you're going to automatically see that these 2 defensive tackles are in a 2 technique. And what that means is they're just directly above the guard, head up over the guard. And so what this does, because this is a trap play, and so this center, he understands that, hey, they're in 2 techniques, so it'd be a pretty hard block for me to down block out of him while this left guard comes across to field. And so when I played back when we had leather helmets, our center called it a taco call. He said, taco, taco. All of our offensive line heard it. They knew that he was going to pull rather than the left guard. All of them ready to eat. And let's see how it comes down. Boom. You automatically see this right tackle. He's going up to the 2nd level. He's trying to get that linebacker because it's a trap. You trap the defense into believing one thing and slicing underneath behind it. And we'll see that our center, he automatically takes a bucket step. He made the taco call. He said, I'm going to pull. Left guard, you stay in. You take this head up. He gets a bucket step so he can get outside and replace this right tackle, and he has his homeboy, the left tackle, coming right behind him. And then one thing that I see that Coach Smith is starting to incorporate into this Wildcat with Justin Allen is a lot of motion, a lot of misdirection, and that's great, especially when you're really trying to find your beat offensively and trying to get something going early on. Is you really want to create misdirection, make the defense think, and have them make a mistake before you can make one. And so as you see the safety, he's starting to go with the motion. The linebacker, the other linebacker, and then this in-man line of scrimmage, this motion keeps him at home just a second so he doesn't chase our quarterback. And then so our left tackle from earlier leads the parade up the gap, and then it's just Justin Allen, skilled player and athlete, a seasoned veteran. He's going to do what he does best, and that's run the football. And secondly, we're going to go on to the defensive side of the ball. As we all know, that's something that, I take pride in. And we're going to talk about Lyon because they don't look anything like Texas Wesleyan did defensively. Their shell looks different. As you see, there's already 1 safety up high. That's not how Texas Wesleyan played it. But it's weird because they're in the same defense, and I'm going to show you how. They're still in the 4-3 front. They still have the 4 down linemen and these 3 linebackers. One would ask, why is this not the 3rd linebacker, and isn't that the 2nd safety? No, it's not. Because if you're a quarterback initially and you see 1 safety high with your corners man-to-man, you're thinking it's cover 1, man underneath, 1 safety over the top. I'm looking for my go-getter, which is Brian Dyson. I'm looking for him. It's 1-on-1. That's not the case. This is a 2nd safety over this number 3 receiver, and that's really 9 times out of 10, you will never see that out of a defense like that. And they have their linebacker out of the number 2. It's unheard of, but I'm going to explain it to you. Just give me a second. The quarterback takes the snap, and let's just talk about these linemen real quick. These linebackers. You have this bottom linebacker. It's a flat. I automatically see how they drop. I understand their defensive coverage. Oh, they're playing zone. So this means that they're playing a cover 3 robber. And let me explain that to you. Look at the linebackers. You have the 1, the 2, the 3. The bottom linebacker has this flat zone. He's already eyeing this back. That's his key to read, is this back. He's coming down the flat. He's already zoned in on him. This Mike linebacker, he's sitting in the middle for anything coming across his way. As you see Justin Allen, the playmaker, he's coming on a low drag right here. So he's right in his wheelhouse. He's right in his place to be. He's ready to make a play on the football. And then our top side linebacker, he sees a little short out route. That's his flat, and he's breaking on that as well. And as the play progresses, let's check out the defensive back so I can explain so you can better understand the cover 3 and the robbing part of it. And so the cover 3 is basically deep thirds, deep third, deep third, deep third. As you see, immediately our top corner bailed, so he's going to his deep third area. We automatically had that number 1 safety up top, the 1 safety up top. He's in his deep third already. He's just reading, playing football. And then our bottom corner, he's playing that deep third, and he's on a solo island. What a solo island means is he's the only person locked up with the receiver on this side of the field. Nobody else is out here. Call that a solo. 9 times out of 10, he's running man, but either or, he's still engaged, chasing down to that deep third of the field. And the reason I circled this safety, the one who was over the number 3 receiver rather than the number 2, is because he's robbing. He's finding that gray area between that middle linebacker and the safety, because offensively, when it comes to schemes and route running, what they really like to do, that means I'm talking too much, what they really like to do is that they like to send this short drag, as they do with Justin Allen, underneath to make this linebacker bite, and they'll send this second route right behind him to sit in the nook and cranny of the 2 zones. And that's why you bring a robber in, so he can try to help alleviate some of those little plays and schematics of offense. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. You have a 6'5" senior receiver in his man-on-man, one-on-one, and you want to choose your guy 10 times out of 10. And lastly, we're going to talk about how as much as you can play, as much as you can scheme, as much as you can practice, at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of athletes being athletes, and that plays can break down, and athletes have to be athletes. It's backyard football. And we'll see here, quarterback's taking a direct snap. Seems like a cover 2. You see our outside linebackers getting their hands on the number 2 receivers, so it slows it down for our safeties so they can read, as well as our corners so they can read. And where we see here, everybody's in the perfect cover 2 shell. And then our corner up top, he's playing this number 1 receiver, but he's reading the number 2. Typically in your textbook on cover 2, Longhorn is he's going to break as soon as he sees a flat. Not happening. He's reading the quarterback. He sees where the quarterback wants to go. The safety's still over the top of that. Now this is where football happens. This is where this is an athlete. He's like, okay, I went through my 1, 2 progressions. Nothing's happening. Defensive line is making pressure. They're getting back there. So he says, okay, I have to make a play with my feet. He's going to break the pocket. And this is where you have a great IQ by our middle linebacker and our wheel linebacker. Wheel just stands for weak side. Is that they have to force the issue. They have to cause him to make a play, either throw it out of bounds, either try to make it with your feet, and going against an All-American, and should be All-American, 9 times out of 10 isn't going to happen. And here is where it breaks down in that football. Typically in scramble drill, as soon as you see him escape the pocket, the zone's dead. You find the closest person to you in a different color jersey, and it's locked in man-to-man. Everybody's locked in, man, man. There's a person up here, man. And this linebacker, he understands that with this quarterback running now on the opposite side of the field, he's not going to throw across his body. He's not Brett Favre. That's like a 45, 50-yard pass. That's not going to happen. And so this bottom corner, for a split second, when this happens, scramble drill, you want to stay man right in that hip pocket. You don't want to look at the quarterback. You don't want to look at anybody but your man. And then he takes that 1 peek, and as soon as he takes that 1 peek is when this receiver jab steps and runs up the field. And then from there is chase mode. And there's not much you can do about that. The defensive back does a good job of staying textbook. You get beat, you don't look back at the football, you chase down the receiver. He tried to play his hands through the ball. The receiver was stronger, held on to the pass. And that's just how it happened. And these are things that SAGU, we're seeing this week, going on week 6, and they should be cleaning these things up. And they do have bright spots, but we just need to see it continuously and consistently coming together. But after the break, we'll give you the latest rankings and players of the week for the major fall sports across the NAIA. Plus, we'll bring you this week's Volleyball Chalk Talk with Maddie Hartline. We'll be right back.
Have you given any thought to finishing your college degree? Well, did you know every day others like you are discovering the satisfaction of completing their degree online? And they're doing it through SAGU Distance Education. You can forget about the traditional classroom format. Your PC, laptop, tablet, or smartphone make any location your classroom on the go. View lectures from real professors, interact with real peers from around the world, and complete assignments at the time most convenient to you. SAGU School of Distance Education. Education anywhere.
Welcome back. The NAIA announced Charles Sallery of Marian University as the NAIA Football National Offensive Player of the Week after he carried the ball 42 times for 183 yards and 3 touchdowns, catching 3 passes for 43 yards. Wish I had him on my fantasy team. Landon Carolla of Georgetown has been named the NAIA National Defensive Player of the Week after he set a new Georgetown in-game record for 6.5 tackles for a loss, as well as added 6 solo tackles and 3 assisted tackles. Lastly, Otis Odom of Reinhardt University has been named the NAIA National Football Special Teams Player of the Week after returning 2 kicks for a total of 131 yards, including a 92-yard kick return to respond to a touchdown.
Now on to last week's Volleyball Players of the Week. Skylar Van Note of Marian University has been named the NAIA National Women's Volleyball Attacker of the Week after she helped her team to a 3-1 upset over number 3 Indiana Wesleyan with 20 kills and a .386 attack percentage. Selena Monterio of Park University has been named the NAIA National Women's Volleyball Defender of the Week, helping her team complete a sweep of number 1 Missouri Baptist with 43 digs. Olivia Gala of Bellevue, Nebraska has been named the NAIA National Volleyball Setter of the Week after she directed her team to a 3-0 week with an upset of number 4 Viterbo. 2019 NAIA Football Coaches Top 10 poll for this past week. Morningside, Kansas Wesleyan, Marian, Grandview, Benedictine, Northwestern, St. Francis, College of Idaho, Lindsey Wilson, and Concordia.
Looking at the top 10 in men's soccer, Central Methodist leads the way at number 1, followed by Columbia, William Carey, Westmont, Hastings, Oklahoma Wesleyan, Lindsey Wilson, Mobile, Southeastern from Florida, and the Rio Grande from Ohio.
Moving on to the top 10 for women's soccer, at 1 you have Kaiser, William Carey, University of Northwestern Ohio, Southeastern, Lindsey Wilson, Eastern Oregon, Westmont, and moving up this week is Central Methodist and John Brown, along with Martin Methodist.
Meanwhile, with volleyball, number 1 was Missouri Baptist, followed by Northwestern, Indiana Wesleyan, Viterbo, Eastern Oregon, Park, Missouri, Corbin, Midland, Columbia, and rounding out the top 10 is Southern Oregon. With volleyball in mind, let's bump, set, and spike ourselves over to Volleyball Chalk Talk with Maddie Hartline.
The SAGU Lady Lions had a great weekend, and so today I want to show you guys some highlights from the last 3 games that they played. The first one I want to show you guys is just a key offense that SAGU runs. The SAGU Lady Lions run a 5-1 offense, meaning that our setter sets from both the back row and the front row. The 5 and 5-1 stands for the fact that we have 5 hitters hitting at any point during the game. This play, you're going to see the ball is put into play by Lexi. Then these arrows are going to show you kind of where our hitters and our setter are positioned. The yellow arrows pointing towards our setter, Sophia Ivy, and the blue and green arrows are towards our hitters, our outside and our middle. That just shows that our setter is always blocking on the right side when she is front row. Sophia has a great offensive play here, and she dumps the ball right into the middle of the court. That's a really big part of SAGU's offense, making the other team always stay on their toes, ready for that dump to happen at any point. Another highlight I want to show you guys is from the game against the University of Southwest. In this game, there had a lot of blocks. Here you're going to see 2 big coverage points by the Lady Lions. Covering in volleyball means that the entirety of the defense follows a hitter when they're going up to hit. It's basically creating a shell around them so that if they were to get blocked, they're there to pass it up and keep the play going. In this play, you're going to see the ball is passed, set, swung, it's blocked. Nikki Almaguer digs it up. It's set back to the outside. Here, you're going to see that the ball is already about to be hit, and the entirety of the SAGU Lady Lions are following that ball. Everyone is moving towards that hitter, ready to back her up so that she can have confidence when she swings, knowing that her team has her back if she were to get blocked. The last thing I want to show you guys is a happy birthday ball. A happy birthday in volleyball means that the ball is overpassed by the other team so that the front row has really any number of options when it's there. They can go up, they can swing, they can tip, or they can swipe the ball from left to right. Here, Jancy Akers gets that opportunity. When Central Christian passes the ball over, she jumps. You see that the ball is in the plane of the net. She's already got two hands on it, seeing that open spot shown by that blue arrow there, where she swipes the ball and ends up in a terminating point for the Lady Lions. Coming up in this week's Coach's Corner interview, we'll have SAGU's women's basketball coach, Tiffany Phillips, and later, this week's Pride Profile. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. We're here with SAGU women's head basketball coach Tiffany Phillips. Coach, you're back on campus. You've been on campus for about 2 months.
Right.
All of us fans are wondering, what have y'all been doing as a team to prepare for this upcoming season?
You know, you say 2 months like it's been forever, but we got here so late in August, and when teams are starting practice like August 19th and we're starting school August 31st, if you feel as a coach like you're behind. But we had a short preseason, which for a college athlete, they love hearing a short preseason. Nobody likes the conditioning and the weights part of it. They want to be on the court. So we had a short preseason. Really proud of the girls. They came in really good shape. They worked hard this summer. You can tell they put in effort on and off the court in the weight room. And so a lot of them looked really good, like strong, physical. So we were able to start practice in September. Our 24-week rule allows us to do that. So it was really exciting to be able to get on the basketball court early and just to kind of piece together what we've got. We have obviously some really great returners. We got the leading scorer in our conference, Lexi Rich, coming back. Then you got pieces like Sydney Meter coming in. So you know, it's just trying to put the new pieces with the older pieces that we have and get it all together.
Speaking of those new pieces, it's a new year. There's a lot of new faces on that team. Talking about pieces. So are there any newcomers that really are standing out to you?
Yeah, and I'm thankful that they are, because you know, we went out there to recruit post players. That was our goal this season. We had to replace post players that we lost. And so we picked up Alexis Casher. She's a junior college transfer out of Kansas. She's actually from Alabama. She's just one of those tough girls. You know, she's going to do all the trash work. She's going to get all the offensive rebounds. She's going to get the defensive rebounds. She's going to keep her teammates accountable if they step out of line. And she's really stepped into a leadership position, but she does pick up some of the rebounding that we lost with some of the post players that we were going to miss this year. So that's a big one for us. She finishes well around the basket, and she's just a strong player. And then another post player, 6'3" girl out of Eastern Florida. She's from the Bahamas, and she's very long. She provides some defensive things for us that we'll miss, blocking shots, finishing around the rim, just trying to get her fit into our system and what we want to do. But I've liked the way they developed over the last couple of weeks here with us. And then Lauren Baker is a freshman that I really like. I think she has a lot of potential. She creates a lot of energy for us, kind of like a Tamara DeRoe. She comes in, she creates energy, she's going to be a spark plug, and she just makes things happen for us, very competitive. So really, really nice newcomers to fit with some of the returners we have.
Speaking of those that left, you lost a couple post players, and so that messes with the chemistry a little bit. What are some things that y'all try to do as coaches and as a team to build that camaraderie outside of basketball and games?
Right, and relationships are so important. You know, these girls will play here for 2, 3, 4 years, and then they'll be gone and they'll be done with basketball. But do they make relationships? Can they have people that are going to be in their weddings? You know, those types of things. Those are what we look for. So, you know, we do a lot of team bonding type stuff. They'll come over to my house. I'll cook them dinner. I'm not sure if it's any good, but, you know, they say it's okay. So, and then this weekend we're actually going on a retreat. We did a retreat last year, a little 2-day retreat where we just get away. We put our cell phones away. We're just with each other. We talk about our expectations for the season, just some things in terms of accountability where we want to hold each other accountable, and just try to, you know, get to know one another. And they spend a lot of time together in the dorms. They're close-knit, but we try to do a lot of things together as a team.
Now, last season, y'all shocked a lot of people in the Sooner Athletic Conference and the NAIA. I mean, you knocked off number 6 Wayland Baptist, who is a perennial powerhouse. You also had a game-winning shot against MACU. What are your expectations for this season after having such a hot and fiery season last year?
Yeah, I mean, you say beat number 6 Wayland, and that just, I mean, I'm fired up. Because that's tough to do. We haven't done it until last year. And we do have a lot of people returning from that. But you know that it's a fresh season, it's a fresh start, it's a new team. I expect a lot, I do, and they know that. And I'm holding them to that standard in practice. And they're like, man, we can't do okay. We want to be better than okay. We've set the bar high. We won 21 games last year. We set the bar high. It was a good season for us. But now, what do? You know, we can't become complacent. We've got to keep pushing, and my expectations are to win those games. I think the conference rankings will come out soon. I see us probably preseason 3rd or 4th, and so that's exciting, but it means nothing if we're not going to work hard. And we're going to work hard, and we have a bunch of girls that want to get it done, and they want to win games. And we've got seniors like Lexi and Eva who want to go out on top, and I know that they will because I know their work ethic.
Well, Coach, you summed it up there for us. We appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Now let's take a look at a SAGU soccer player who is a leader on both the soccer and mission field. Here's James Landers with this week's Pride Profile.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm a captain of the soccer team, and I'm a senior here at SAGU.
1, 2, 3, Lady Lions!
So I've been team captain since my junior year, and I communicate with Coach, so him and I have open communication. So we talk about like things that are going on and working through conflicts, and I'm happy to talk to girls, hold them accountable. Straight off the bat, every year we have freshmen coming in, and I always try to make them feel welcome because I remember what it was like to be a freshman out of my element. I definitely want to be a friend for them.
When I first met Sarah, I was pretty scared to come here and just be a freshman here. But she's impacted me and just kind of made me feel at home, kind of been like a mom to me. She always has a positive outlook on everything. Like, even when we're playing not very good, she just encourages everybody, reinforces the fact that we're a team and we're a family, that we're going to work together. She's always so outgoing, always so full of life, and she just wants to take care of everybody.
There's kind of a saying that I've always gone by when it comes to leadership. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And so showing people that I care about them and building that relationship first is really huge for me. So other than soccer, which takes up a lot of my time in college and homework, well, I paint, and I like to paint, and I do like calligraphy, and sometimes I sell my stuff. I used to sell it a lot more, but I usually sell my paintings for fundraising for my mission trips. The soccer team goes on a mission trip every year. I love that because it combines 2 of my passions, which is the gospel and soccer. And all of them, we use soccer to demonstrate and to communicate the gospel with children, and just uniting us as a team to share the gospel and to focus on something that's more eternal than just the game that we play. When I was in 10th grade, I felt called to ministry. There was a moment at a camp, and I stood up, I went down, and I talked about how I felt like God was calling me to youth ministry, and I was really excited about it.
I have known Sarah since she was in 7th grade here with the Cross City students. And then when she went on to college, we brought her back as an intern for our student ministry and a small group leader for my 8th grade girls. She loves students. She is passionate about ministry. She wants to go into missions, and we know that she has a heart for young ladies. She knows what it's like to live out her faith in school, to struggle with, what do you want me to do, God? How do I minister to these people? And so these young girls are able to connect with her because they see Sarah as not that far removed.
This is what I love to do. This is what I'm passionate about. I love students. I love ministry, and Lord just was like, surrender to my will, and that's what I did. So yeah.
And thank you for joining us for SAGU Sports Feed. We'll see you all here next week.